Audio Jungle.
Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Hey, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It's zero dark when it ain't so dark. I tell you what, folks, the violence and the rhetoric is getting loud. It really is. And Democrat dummies, they don't seem to understand that what they're doing is illegal. But I've got to tell you, this is exactly how communists have always acted. Violently. Socialists act violently. Extremists act violently. It is a good and hearty and wholesome people that are moral and decent who suffer the indignities and the losses of evil until it can't be borne anymore, and then they fight back. That's what happened in 1776. Read the Declaration, they explain it. Now, having said that, let's talk about what it is that has directed my attention to this topic. Jamie Rascally, Ratface, Rathead Raskin was meeting up in the industrial Rust Belt with union workers, and the names of these unions, they were pretty nice. They're fancy. Uman would know. Machinists and Smart Guy Union, and another one was aerospace union workers, and their shirts that they were wearing said Union Lives Matter. And I thought, oh, wait, shouldn't BLM be there violently assaulting them for saying something matters other than Black Lives Matters? I tell you, folks, the hypocrisy and racism and stupidity knows no limit. So Jamie Raskin's up there speaking to these two unions, trying to, of course, rile them up and get them all excited. Well, there's a nationally syndicated, at least I think he's syndicated. I see his work everywhere. Jack Posobiec, kind of a tricky name to say, but he does a lot of writing, a lot of work out there in economics and politics. Jack Posobiec is there, and he said, because Raskin was lying about what a great job that the Democrats are doing, how popular they are, and he said out loud, and I'm paraphrasing, didn't you guys lose by 20 points? Didn't you guys say you were going to win and you lost? And he was just basically chiming in and up. Raskin had a bullhorn talking to his crowd, trying to sound like, I guess, Al Sharpton, except he's a weak-kneed, low-T version of even Al Sharpton, who himself is no stalwart of a man. In any event, Jack spoke up, and Raskin turned on him. Now, this is a member of Congress, right? He's supposed to be a statesman and not just a politician, but a representative of his district and a representative of his party, right? All this bullshit. They try making it sound like politicians are just a better class and breed of people. They're not. Politicians are slimy shit. And the only way to make them do what we want is to force them. Well, even then, right? We can't force them. So, made it through that intersection alive. So Raskin turns on Jack Posobiec, and he calls on the union workers to get him. And they surrounded him, and they started shoving him around and assaulting him. I don't know. I don't think they hospitalized him, but they pushed him around, beat him, knocked his camera out of his hand. It's all available online. It's on X. It's all over X. Raskin calling for violence and someone being assaulted. Number one, Raskin should be charged with inciting violence, causing personal harm and injury, as well as property damage. Number two, Raskin should be censured by Congress, and a motion should be filed to what? Expel his dumbass. That's right, expel him. They expelled a Republican a couple of years ago. For what? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for I don't know, this bullshit, pretending to be Jewish, something stupid. In any event, I know there's more to every story than what we see in here, but calling on a crowd of thugs, which is what union workers are when they show up at a rally or show up at a strike. They don't like it when someone is going to work less expensively than them. Now, I mean, this is basic economic fundamentals. Unions want to control pricing so that they can get the best wages for themselves. But a free market says we should have competing bids to see who's going to get the work done at the best price for the consumer. And if there is a shortage of, well, materials and labor, then the price goes up because there's fewer people willing to bid, and those that are available will probably charge more. But if there is a plethora, an abundance of labor and materials, then you would think that prices should be lower. So unions don't like that. They want to create a shortage. And some fucking moron here, he's 30 feet away from a crosswalk and he's got to walk in front of me. What a jackass. Gonna end up with tire marks on him because some Democrat will run him over. Anyways, so this is what the union does. They get violent. Now, again, the principles behind most unions are, we want higher wages. That's the selling point. That's the selling point. But to secure that, unions have always resorted to financial extortion, or you could say contract extortion, and violence. Now, by contract extortion, let me describe what I mean. If they don't get what they want, they go on strike. All union workers tell a business or a city, go to hell, we're not going to do the work until you give us what we want. Right? So they always ask for a mile and they take a half a mile, right? They ask for a quart of blood and they're okay with a pint as long as they get more every time they do it. Union. Okay, yeah. It's easy to say, but you know what unions do? They just take more tax money from us. They just cost companies more, so prices go up. Funny how Democrats don't like the fact that we could have tariffs, which could cause inflation in many areas, and they want to blame Trump and hang it all on Trump's neck and show how much Trump is costing, but they don't want to say a fucking word about what unions cost this country because of overinflated wages and bonuses and retirement packages and benefits that we all have to pay for, either through higher priced products or higher priced government services. Oh, no, don't talk about that, John. No. It's about a living wage. It's about having enough money to live well. See, they want it both ways. They want it both ways. They want the high wages and they want to be heroes. Well, they're only heroes to themselves. They cost the rest of us. But they won't talk about it like that. See, this is socialist double talk out both sides of their fucking neck about wanting to help the people while screwing the people, but they don't want the economy fixed or to address problems a way other than their own. So that's why they villainize Trump and want to say, look at what he's costing us, blah, blah, blah. Even though Trump is bringing jobs back to America by using tariffs as a leverage to get foreign corporations to build factories here and use American workers here and increase our productivity here in America so that wages and benefits are better here in America. But they don't want a free market solution to that. They want Democrat dummy solutions for everything. That's what they want. And if you don't give them their way, they want to get violent. Understand that. Union workers are some violent fucks. Now, poor little Jack Posobiec, right? He's at one of their little meetings. Probably not the wisest thing to do because Democrats are violent socialist communist fucks. Now, having said that again, made it perfectly clear where I stand on the matter. Not all union workers are bad folks, but the ones who show up to cause trouble, those are the rough and rowdies that do cause injuries, and also murder. And they always have. Understand, Jack was one guy. One guy versus dozens of these fucks. So of course the unions are going to be a bunch of tough guys. You know, what if a dozen Johns or a dozen Chin Musics or a dozen Orlandos showed up to meet a dozen of their union workers? Do you think they would act so fucking tough? No. No, like a pack of fucking hyenas. They'll attack when they outnumber, and they'll run, yipping their little heads off, screaming that it wasn't fair if someone outpowers them. Once again, typical Democrat dummy behavior. Shit is at the fan, folks, and Raskin is calling for violence, and he got it. He got his violence, and he needs to be charged with exactly that: inciting violence and personal damage and property damage. This is just a little part of it, folks. This is just the start of what's coming. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours.